Hello everyone and happy Monday. It is time for another episode of Mark's Monday Minutes in Portland Real Estate. Today is March 27th and I'm coming to you from our garage, partly because I didn't want to go to office today, so I'm working from home. And not to mention, I got some pretty cool eye candy in the background. Yes, that's a V8 with 6 exhaust outlets. Do you know what type of motor that is? You better learn, because that's your grandpa or great-grandpa. Actually, if you do anything V8 now, that's the founder. All right, so it is the week of March 27th. As I say, first week, 3 takeaways this week. First of all, pending rates the number of new pending homes are still above the number of active listings new this week for the 11th week in a row. Second of all, mortgage rates are doing well. They're actually almost back down to February levels. And third, this weekend is the Portland and PIR swap meet. We'll talk about that as well. So if you can go find parts for cars like these. All right, let's begin. The week of March 27th, the number of active listings out there today, 2,567. Just under last week. The last 2 weeks were slightly higher. We're just kind of hovering. We are still below. We're just still around that 2,500 range, between 2,400 and 2,600, down from 3,000 back at the beginning of January. So we continue to see lower inventory. We're ready for it to start ramping up, but come on, sellers, let's work together. I've put 5 homes on the market now so far this year, and I've got two more in the queue to come up. Some 2 amazing homes, actually. But if you're thinking about selling, now is the most amazing time to do it because there's so little competition. If you have to sell or want to move up, yes, we'll talk about mortgage rates, but now's a good time. The number of new listings this week, 414. The number of pending homes, 459. Again, there are more pending than there are active homes. This normally would clear out the inventory, dropping it further. However, we're seeing slightly elevated, which means pretty much coming up from zero, anything's elevated, slightly elevated numbers of homes coming back on the market because of a failed sale. The buyer doesn't qualify, the buyer gets cold feet, something comes up in disclosures, something about those lines, properties come back on the market. Now, sometimes buyers see that as, oh, what's wrong? It's stale bread. No, it may just be that the buyer changed their mind because they felt they were under pressure because of scarcity and they just got cold feet and backed up. That happens, sadly, far more often than any of us would want. Number of homes sold in the last week, 289. Again, we're dealing with homes that were a month ago, finally catching up as buyers' activity continues to increase. The number of sold homes will continue to increase. The number of homes with a price adjustment in the last 45 days, 473. It's about 17%. That's really not much, folks. It's been sitting at that 17% now for this is 3 weeks in a row, having come down from 20%. At the national level, we're talking about homes with a price adjustment somewhere in the 30% range. So Portland's well ahead, nowhere near in fear of trouble or crash or failure, as some pundits might say. All right, the number of coming soon homes in the next 21 days, 36. I got 2 of them. The number of sold homes in the last 30 days, 1,460, compared against an active total of 2,567. That gives us just 1 3/4 month worth of inventory. Folks, a normal market is defined between 4 and 6 months of inventory. So we are still very strongly in a seller's market with a few caveats. Now, the number of those garage homes, those 4-car garage or larger homes, there's currently 87 on the market, of which 22 are under $1 million, down from 94 last week. What happened? Well, they sold or went pending. The number of new homes this last week, only 3 new homes, one of which was under $1 million. The other 2 were about $2 million apiece. The number of pending homes this week, this doubled. 11 homes this week have gone pending, only 7 of which were under $1 million. So that means those $1 million buyers are out there looking as well, and they're getting homes under contract. So there's possibility there. Again, I got one of those coming. It's about $2 3/4 million. It's going to be on the market in May. You're going to love that property when we talk about it. The number of that's the number of sold homes in the last week, 3 of them, with 1 of them under $1 million, just like the number of new homes in the market. The total number of homes with a 4-car garage that have sold in the last month, 13. Of which 8 were under $1 million, that affordable garage home that we talk about so often here on this channel. Now, the supply of garage homes, again, it's skewed because the multi-million-dollar homes is sitting at about 6.6, 6.7 months worth of inventory. That's normal for the multi-million dollar range. In fact, that's just spot on. For the under $1 million homes, yeah, it's telling me that we're about 2 3/4 months worth of inventory, which means there's only 22 homes to choose from. That's not many. If you're looking for that affordable garage home, there's not many around the Portland area with a 4-car garage. There's even fewer with an amazing detached shop or garage. I know, because there's about that many in Portland right now that I would consider reasonable in that way. Others are just simply scrapers. They're just a property with an outhouse or old building. You're going to scrape it as you develop the property. Now, let's get into those 3 takeaways. First of all, the number of pending homes this week has exceeded the active number of homes and new listings for 11 weeks in a row. More homes are going pending than new homes are coming on the market for 11 weeks since January 30th. I mean, that's a long time, folks. Now, since January 9th. Now, the inventory has been below 2,600 since January 30th. So there's just still a strong driver out there. Buyers are looking, they're buying. Some are getting cold feet, but they're still active. Now, second, mortgage rates are back down below about 6.7% for those with a 740 or better credit score. This is the same point we were at back in February, the first week of February. So this is good. Last week we saw a little bubble because the Feds did increase the base rate by 0.25% as expected. That's cool. But it does appear mortgage rates are headed slightly down. So again, we're back to now January members. This is good. Now, finally, the third point I talked about, the swap meet. I'm going to show you here. This weekend is the PIR swap meet. It's one of 2 of the largest swap meets on the West Coast. The 2 together make a phenomenal opportunity. Now, the weather's going to be unknown, but there is the Portland swap meet and the PIR swap meet. PIR swap meet is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The Portland swap meet is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can go to one, catch a bus over to the other. There you go. If you happen to be at PIR, you'll find my booth right as you walk in. You're putting your money back in your wallet from change and you look to the right and there you're going to find me. I'll have my booth there with a crew working for Lucky Dog to promote the Lucky Dog Racing Series. And if you happen to see any parts for cars like this, I'm interested. For those who do ask, this is a 1942 Mack Truck. Got a Bulldog. Yep, that's right. It fits our Enzo Bulldog. This is my wife's Rat Rod 1942 Mack Truck. This car, this engine, it's called a flathead. If you don't know what it is, Google it, find out, and you'll find out exactly why there's only 3 exhausts on a bank of 4 cylinders. And for bonus credit, if you can figure out why we have a bicycle chain on the side of it, that's your curiosity. Have a wonderful week. We will see you at the swap meet this weekend and then again next Monday.